Hello everyone and Happy New Year. This is 2022 now, so this is January 2nd actually, and yesterday on January 1st I did my first video of the new year, and in that video I was throwing some cups. So in this video I'm showing you a thrown cup form, trimming it, and putting a handle on it. Now this is a different clay body than what I typically use. I've been kind of toying around for a while with the idea of making a switch to porcelain, and this I was trying out the standard, I think it's 365 English porcelain, and it is a lovely clay body. It of course has some differences between B-mix, and I am having fun kind of exploring that and pushing it with how thin I can throw it, because it's amazing how thin you can go with this English porcelain. It's very lovely. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to make the switch to a porcelain clay body, because I recently got a beautiful Peter Pugger, and I have some videos that I'm putting together on that, and I'll show you those. Those will be forthcoming. But I wanted to decide, do I want to stick with my B-mix, or do I want to switch over to the porcelain? Before I started my first load of in the Peter Pugger, I thought maybe it would be nice to kind of figure that out first. But then I decided, what the heck, I can always clean the Pugger out and put in the porcelain if I needed to, because I do have a lot of recycle right now that I would like to get into that the pug mill. So hopefully you enjoy this, and I have a few more successive videos on the other cups that I did and the different handles, trimming, stuff like that. And I wish for this new year to be full of peace and purpose and passion for you all. And I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and keep potting if you can.
So I'm starting off here by just cutting some of my clay into about 1 pound chunks and wedging it up. And as I wedge it, I prepare, several pieces at one time, and then I'm lightly spritzing it and then covering it with a damp towel. I could also cover it with a bag. Now I'm using my bat insert system. It's from a Batman from Canada. I can put a little link in the video description on that. I like this little bat system because it has the little square inserts. And I start off by centering. The one thing that I noticed with this clay is the porcelain was rather stiff, but then as soon as you start using it and working with it, it seems like it moves rather quickly sometimes. So just the centering of it, I felt like you had to have, like smooth hand motions, or you could easily knock it off center. I am coning it a few times. I do like to cone if the clay is questionable, and I felt like the porcelain appreciated being coned a little bit more than what I would maybe normally do with the B-mix. And I'm just trying to move over on the side to get out of the way a little bit. So I did notice there was a little something stuck right there. I think it was maybe like a little piece of sponge. I wanted to get that out of my clay because that would not be good to have a little chunk. You've got beautiful clay, you don't want impurities in it. And now I'm going to drop the middle, and for that you can see that I used that thumb to drop the middle, and then once I dropped it and had the right thickness left, about 1/2 inch, then I just pulled it open. Now I am recentering the wall, and if you need to see one of my videos, you can see how I show the hand motion of recentering. But then the recentering motion, I'm just pinching it and I pull it up to get my first pull. Now, because I'm going pretty thin with this, I really wanted to make sure I had plenty of water, because this porcelain, the thinner you go, if you have any friction whatsoever, it's going to pull on your skin and it's going to completely throw it off. So I did find it delightful to throw just because of how thin I felt I could push it. Definitely thinner than the B-mix that I typically use. And I'm really looking forward to glazing this. Of course, I'll show you all later when I go to glaze these how they turn out. But uh, I'm hoping that I'll have nice success, just like I do with my B-mix. Uh, and I use primarily Coyote glazes because I just love the color choices. And here I'm just thinning it a little bit more and then adding a little bit of form to that, kind of giving it a little bit of an undulating in and out. And you can see I had a thin spot right there that started to twist a little bit, so I needed to go back over that again, making sure that I have plenty of water so I don't have any friction. And I'm just getting some water out of the interior. And now I want to go for a super smooth surface. Because it's porcelain, I might as well just try to make it as smooth and as clean of a surface as I possibly can. Now, I have used porcelain in the past, but it's been so many years. It was just fun to give this a shot, to kind of experiment, and especially to see just how thin. I look forward to experimenting more with it to see, how thin I can go. Um, I'm I'm typically used to stoneware mugs, and I like the ones that have just a little bit more heft to them. So this will be kind of interesting. I'll be excited to see how this goes. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Even though it's a wood insert, I still like to cut it. And then I'm just going to lift that insert, and I usually use the tools to get it out of there.
All right. For trimming this, I am just going to use a sticky bat that I have here. This is one of the Creative Industries, the CI sticky bats. And years ago, I made little lines on it with a permanent marker, so it kind of helps you line it up a little bit as you put it on there. A little less guesswork, because it doesn't really scoot around easily. Like, it's hard to tap center on this, I think, because it is pretty sticky. And I'm just going to trim a nice little foot. So I forgot, I'm going to use a little, I like to use a little lid when I'm trimming like this, because then I can hold the pot on the bottom without causing friction where it sticks to my finger. Just like trimming anything, I start by going straight down to make the cut on the exterior, and then I would have a nice even foot ring. I have to say, this is New Year's Day, 2022, and I am watching the Rose Bowl, and it's the fourth quarter, and Ohio State just scored a touchdown, which is very exciting. So I'm watching this here in my studio with the volume down. All right, got a nice little foot on that. Now I'm ready to do, oops, I just saw a flaw. I'm just going to tidy that up before I do the handle. Okay, so now I have the trimmed body. This is still on the soft side of leather hard. It has a little bit of a sticky quality to it. I wanted to get the handle on this while it was still fairly soft, because this is one of my first times working with porcelain in the past 25 years. I know that it's probably a little less forgiving, I would imagine, than the B-mix. So I'm just trying to err on the side of caution. I wanted to catch it before it dried out too much. So I am going to be doing a handle, not really, not a pulled lug, but I'm going to be doing one that's pinched and somewhat pulled. But it's a little bit different because I'm going to have two fat areas of connection, and then it will be thinner in the middle. I like to kind of fatten up the end where the connection's going to be to make sure that it's got a nice, really a more hefty attachment area. Now I'm dipping my fingers in a little bit of water, and here's when I start to pull it and smooth it. Aww. It looks like Ohio State is losing their lead. So this is going to be attaching at basically 2 points there. I'm kind of liking the size of this. And I'm going to zap it with a heat gun to dry it out just a little bit. All right, so I'm now positioning this so it's got a slight arch here that will match the curve of the piece. I just want it to be slightly arched, so it's, you know, it's gonna really kind of match up there. And then I have to decide which side I want. I'll do it like this. Then I'm going to really adhere this well. I'm going to score, and then I'm going to use some of my slip, and I'm just using slip from my slip bucket. And before I attach this, I'm going to just zap the cup, just get it a little stiffer as well. Doesn't take much when the clay is so thin. It's a pretty thin wall now. Basically, I want it to be on the crest of both of these curves. All right, and there's the slip. I'm going to press this in. And as I do this, I'm going to be pressing down the corner. Now I'm going to clean up score marks. A little bit of sponge work. Since this is porcelain, I can get away with this. If this is grogged clay, this would be much riskier to do, because then you would raise the grog. Making sure it's getting super smooth. Oh, Ohio State up by 3, 48-45. Oh my gosh, with 9 seconds to go. Ohio State has it! They won the Rose Bowl. Oh my gosh. I came down here and didn't think that that was happening. I really thought. Okay, there's 9 seconds left. Have they won it? I don't know. Okay, there we go. I really like this handle. I think that's a really super sweet handle. I love handles like this that are just really nice for 2 fingers, and I like this lovely little curve in there. Okay, the only way I think that Utah can win is if they return this, but they could return it. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, 7, 6. Oh, he doesn't know which way to go. And he's down. Ohio State has won the Rose Bowl. That is so exciting. Woohoo! All right. We're going to put a little stamp. So this is my W stamp. I'm just going to use that right underneath there. I keep my finger pressed right on the inside, so as I'm pressing and rocking, my finger is on the inside there. I didn't quite get that. There we go. So there's my mark. And I will sign my name on it. I'm going to let it get just a little drier. It's still a little on the soft side for that. So I will set this aside, and I'm going to wrap it with a towel. I'm going to put a dry towel over it, and I'll keep all of my cups that I made today under a dry towel while I dry them.